Hey, everybody, good evening. This is another episode of Life with Akia Live. And today, my special guest is Marion Swingler. She is a phenomenal um, voice coach and confidence coach. And if you've never heard of a confidence coach, you're in for a treat tonight when we find out exactly what Marion does for people. I've met her. I've been on her show. She has interviewed me. She is definitely a treasure, and she is definitely someone who you are going to want to listen to. Her story is absolutely remarkable. How she transitioned from singing to coaching people on how to be confident in their life. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring Marion to the stage and let us find out more about her. Oh,
Woo! I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited
Listen,
to have you here. Oh my
I'm honored. I'm honored that you asked, that you invited me. I'm grateful that you've been my guest, not once, but twice. Episode 8, Your Words, Your Power, and episode 23
God.
last week was amazing. Was amazing. I love the way that your mind and spirit think.
Mhm.
I love that when you hold a thought, your thoughts grasp in both arenas. I love the things that you speak on um, and give wisdom to. Very excited to be here. I know we've had personal conversations
Yeah.
that were extremely in depth and enlightening. So, how you get depth and light out of the same conversation, you need a Kia in your conversation.
Well,
Listen,
thank you so much. You are
that's what
so
I get.
kind.
That's what I get.
And I always said, ever since I've met Marion and saw her, I'm like, she's got the best smile. Like,
I'm gonna let my mama know.
you've got a beautiful smile. She's got such a great smile.
Thank
I
you.
always say that lady got one of the best smiles I've ever seen.
Ah, thank
So
you.
I want to find out, like, how did you actually start out? Give us a little background on your journey. Like, how did you get to where you are now to be a confidence coach? You didn't start there, you started somewhere else. So tell us a little bit about that.
I definitely started somewhere else. I started, wow, I didn't start out being very confident. I was born a coal miner's daughter. No, I was born the youngest of four in a single parent household. My mom, the strength. My dad had a different home. So in the era that I grew up in, I was never given a position of authority. So I didn't have confidence in that aspect as a young child.
So,
Um,
so if I
I,
could just say what I know with the youngest one in the family, were you in the princess position? They always say the baby, we always say the baby of the family, and you're either the little prince or the little princess because, it's like you get in that position where, you get taken care of because you're the baby of the family.
listen, I don't get taken care of, I get taken. Listen, I didn't listen. I grew up. Listen, if I went back and told those stories, my siblings are still living, so we're not gonna rehash because everybody's gonna have their different version of what happened. But
Mhm.
no, I didn't have a say, and I didn't have a choice. Not even the channel on the TV. But the princess, I will keep my crown. Real
Okay.
talk. I have, I
So,
have literally walked up to my mom's grandchildren and got down real close in their face and said, listen, I need you to understand that I'm still the baby. It's great you're here. It's great. I will not relinquish that crown of being the baby to my mom. No.
that is too funny because I have my youngest. She is definitely the princess, and she
Mhm.
lets you know. I am the princess here.
Wow. Yeah, no. Back then there was no, it was a hierarchy.
Hmm.
Everybody was older than me. I was always the youngest or in the younger group in the room when I was around my cousins. So there was no real, I did. My mom, there would be moments where it would be me and my mom, and they were extra special. I didn't grow up in an abusive, a crazily abusive household, but I think like Everybody Hates Chris, that TV show of how Chris
Uh-huh.
always found himself like, wait, how did that happen? How did that happen? I can say I could do a TV show um, with how I feel like, how did that happen? So
Hmm.
yeah, how things unfolded. I have been punished because I couldn't be touched. So you couldn't beat me.
Ah,
So I would get, different things like put in the bathroom and take the light bulb. I didn't like dark.
okay.
So you took the light bulb, you just took
Terrifying.
everything I needed. So
Hmm.
yeah. So I would say it wasn't, so I don't think it was abusive. I just think the children above me, a little bit older than me that were watching me, not really children, they were teenagers, that were watching me, found other ways because they knew we can't touch her. Nah,
She's a princess.
nah, you can't touch a girl. So yeah. And that's still today. You can't,
Uh-huh.
don't, okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
I hear you. I hear you. I have one, and I was an only child.
Mhm.
So I didn't have the whole family dynamics of the siblings, like the oldest one. And it's really interesting because, they always say the oldest one is the leader. They like to be in charge of everything. And the question my oldest one would ask anytime we'd leave her alone in the house, she'd say, Mom, am I in charge?
George.
She didn't even know that she was supposed to be in the leader position, but she automatically assumed that I'm in charge, right? They got to listen to what I'm telling them. And then my son, he was the middle, he was the rebel, and you know, if you told him to sit, he would stand. If you told him to walk, he'd run. He was the rebel. He would go contrary to whatever. And then the youngest one, she was in the princess position, and she just had the expectation everything is handled. I don't have to worry about it. Everything will be handled. It's
Well,
your
if
job to handle my life.
if that is the situation that we're referring to, then yes, I was the princess because everything was handled because I did not have any expectation that I had to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how her thing was like. I thought you were going to handle that.
Yeah.
She
So
still
I
is,
didn't have to deal with it.
and even
So
though they're all adults, she's still kind of like that still.
I, I like her.
Yeah.
I like her.
So you went from that. So you got into music, from my understanding. Were you always
Yes.
into music, or was your family musical? Or tell us how you got into that.
Let's see. Music. Music came about for me at the early age of 5 or 6. I was with my cousin, and she lost it after Minnie Rippleton's Loving You went off, and she said, oh my goodness, sing it again. You sound better than the lady on the radio. And I'm looking
Oh,
like, what is she talking about? I
wow.
just enjoyed singing. I really did enjoy it. I never took notice until she said that. But then my grandmother lost it because I came home with awards. And she's like, where are these awards coming from? Why didn't you tell me you were doing anything?
Mm-hmm.
Still, no, didn't say anything, didn't speak up or anything. I think I recognized it in middle school. In middle school, I was faceless. No one knew me, no one talked to me. I really, in terms of the in crowd, you would say,
Hmm.
or most of the students, I basically knew the people in my classroom.
Right.
Wasn't really known by anyone. You get from 6th grade to 7th grade, you get there, and what was empowering was my chorus teacher, Miss Bell, saying, okay, I need you to get up there and sing this. Try this for me. And I tried it, and everybody looked. I didn't pay it any mind. All right, we're black and white. We practiced every time we come. We're black and white. and I sang, and I could feel it.
Mm.
And then that next day I showed up, I hit the top of those stairs, and the finest boy in the entire
Ooh,
school
girl.
turned around and said, "Hi." I was like, "Huh?" And he said my name.
Wow.
I said, "Wait, what?
Ah.
What's going on right now?" I said, "Hi," and I said his name. And from there, I knew. I kind of knew. I was like, "Okay, that's it really is something."
Mhm.
If now I'm walking through, but he wasn't the only one to say hi. But that was the high that really, really grasped me because I was confused as to why so many people were speaking to me from getting on the bus to walking off the bus to walking into school. And it's just everybody was saying hi, but it was that high
Mhm.
that changed it. So my cousin acknowledged it and put a spotlight on it. But that high, Miss with the great thanks to Miss Bell, kind of put that stamp of approval on. I was like, wait, everybody is speaking to me, including you.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Like he was just leaning real cool. Hey, I'm like, oh, hey, what?
Fine, as they say. He was
Yes.
fine.
What? Ah, ah. So yeah. So and knowing my history, if I go back to why that would be something that was so important to me, I would go back to being a few years before that. So that was sixth grade, probably being in like the third grade and coming down the steps in my grandma's house, different grandma, at my grandma's house, and my grandfather sitting in the living room in his chair. And he said, "Come here." So I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to speak to my grandfather. So I had to be like 10,
Mhm.
10, 11. It was like preteen, 9, 10, 11, somewhere around there. And I go and I sit at his feet. And I'm like, oh my goodness, he wants to talk to me. And
Mhm.
he said, "You're fat and you black. And if you lose that weight, ain't nobody gonna want you." Exactly. Silence. Because then I had to process that by myself.
Mm.
And in my preteen mind, I said, okay, I'm fat and I'm black. So one of these things I can never get rid of.
Mhm.
I can't get rid of this.
Mhm.
So he's telling me I need to lose weight. Because with both of these, nobody's ever going to love me.
Mm.
But I still can't get rid of one of these. So
Mhm.
how is someone going to love me?
Mhm.
So that's why I say that hello was the thing for me. I couldn't believe it. And that's because of my at that point, I can honestly say without even knowing it, low self-esteem.
Mm.
So I can say my voice was validated. I was seen because I didn't feel seen. And yeah. That kind of took a turn for me in my life. That took a turn. That started a whole new journey for me. So yeah, it started with singing. Um, there we are.
Wow. So when you were in middle school, so middle school is somewhere around that age, around 10, 11 years old,
Mhm.
that most people are in middle school.
12, yeah.
And your grandfather, I guess he's saying you're going through your rites of passage, you're becoming a teenager and you either have to lose some weight to become more attractive to
Yeah.
the opposite sex. I guess that's what he was. It was a crude way of saying it,
Right.
but
And the crazy thing is in recent years, I can honestly say I have come to terms with that because I didn't tell anyone. I
mm,
never told anyone. My sister just found out, and that's like she knows everything.
mhm.
She just found out. I just revealed that to her in recent years. We sat down and had conversations about different things that family members has said to each of us.
Mhm.
My sister is a lighter skin.
Mhm.
And so I told her the different things as a dark skinned woman that have been said to me, and by close people. That's not the only thing.
Mhm.
But I can honestly say I've come to terms with the fact that my grandfather really did think that he was helping me.
Yeah, but it's really interesting, like, you're talking about the whole thing of colorism, especially in our culture,
Yes.
that I never got that.
Mm,
Like, nobody never said that to me about
yeah.
being darker skinned.
Yeah.
Even though, half my family is very fair skinned. My mother, she's extremely light. Some of my cousins, but I never got that. But what I did get was I had a cousin, and she's about my complexion, maybe slightly darker than I am. And I remember her mother used to tell her not to come out of the room when they had company. And she'd only allow the two light skinned kids to show up. So her company only thought she had these two kids, a boy and a girl, that were both very fair skinned. And, that always bothered me. So,
Did
because,
you pick up on it when it happened though?
yeah, because my cousin told me, because I would go upstairs to
Okay.
play, and I'm like wondering, why are you sitting in the closet, or why are you sitting over here? And it's like,
Yeah.
I said not to come out till the company leaves.
And she knew why.
Yeah, because she
Okay.
was darker, or
Okay.
maybe she only told people she only had 1 kid or 2 kids, so she only showed off the lighter skinned ones,
Mhm.
which, I could feel that that would have really hurt my cousin. I don't know how much it hurt my cousin, because I was never exposed to that. My mother, even though she's a fair skinned woman, she never did that whole colorism thing. She
Right.
would make certain sayings that you would get about being darker, and, like all of that type of stuff that you'd hear in our community about people being darker skinned.
Yes.
She would make comments in passing, but she never really like focused really on zero. It was more like you said, cliche.
Yes.
Like you just say it in passing. Oh, because
Yes.
that's the type of stuff that you heard.
Yes.
I have to say one thing. Um, that I'm glad to see that that's changing in our society. Because now I see
Yes.
these beautiful women. They're like Nubian and Sudanese, and these models. And I mean, they glow.
Yes.
It's just amazing. You look at their skin, it looks like satin or something. I'm
Yes.
like, oh my God, they're beautiful.
Yes.
And
And they're being shown. They're being shown.
so it's changing the dynamics, because we didn't have anything like that. I mean, all the like movie stars and women they all kind of look like Lena Horne or Dorothy Dandridge or Halle Berry, or, they all had that kind of look about them. They had very European looking features, and they were very fair skinned women, or they looked mixed.
Yes.
So you didn't really see women that looked like us publicly that
You
much.
did. You
They
in
really
my view, I did, in the way that I saw them was always they were the maid, they were the help.
mhm. Yeah,
They were the help or they were the joke.
conspicuous also.
Yeah.
Mhm, they were in the background somehow. They were around, you knew they were around, but they were in the background. So to see, like, leading roles, to see, like, a Viola Davis, and, like,
Ah,
that's just
yes.
amazing
Yes.
that we've come, and she's just such a brilliant, brilliant actor.
Yes.
It's just amazing to see where we've come, and the embracing of ourselves,
Yes. The
so it
embracing of ourselves. You said that, and you're not understanding that my grandfather was my complexion.
mhm,
My grandmother could have passed for white.
mhm. Yeah. But he knew it was hard for women our complex in those
In
days,
that time, yeah.
that was considered, so maybe he felt that this was somehow going to be protected,
Yes.
because it doesn't sound like he did it maliciously. He was just saying, "This is what you got ahead of you." So that
And I believed it, and I believe I held on to it, and that's why I can look back and go, "Wow, I allowed or compromised and accepted a lot of relationships that weren't, I don't want to say beneficial, but I added to the other person, but the other person didn't really add to me, except for the fact that I could say I had somebody."
mm,
That's not cute.
yeah. I understand that. That is really we've got to come back and have a discussion. You don't want
Right,
to
right,
go
right.
too far off on this tangent, but
But it was good. Yeah.
that
Yeah,
is
but
really
it is part of the
hmm
confidence journey that I've had in my life, where it did start with music. It did start with singing. It did start with my teacher, my cousin Sean, telling me, "Yo, you sound amazing.
hmm
Turn the radio off, sing it again.
hmm
You sound better than the woman." What? That's Minnie Riperton. Who are you talking about? I
exactly.
never ever forgot that day.
hmm
Never forgot that day. Went on and my teacher and then him, and then to go on and get into an art school, Duke Ellington School of the Arts in Washington, D.C.,
Nice.
graduate from there. One of my recitals, I can say one of my teachers, Dorothy Dash, was my voice teacher. She took amazing care and attentiveness of me. I walked into a recital once and there was another teacher, and I did the recital and I came out and he followed me out. There are students coming right behind each other. He couldn't wait. Mr. Edward Jackson
Mm,
came out of that recital room and he said, "If you ever wear those dark, dreary colors again, you are bright. You
nice.
light, you are vibrant. Don't you ever." He came out. This is a recital. I'm there to sing. He said, "Don't you ever wear baggy, droopy, discolored. No, no. You're bright, you're vibrant. Don't ever wear that again." And I'm like, wow, I sang. I did what I was supposed to do. But apparently, one of the components was your attire. And he couldn't wait to tell me. He didn't just want to write it on a piece of paper. He wanted me to understand in that outfit. He wanted me to see it. And I did see it.
And
So,
it had to show your confidence.
yes,
That was part of, like you said, this confidence. It's your entire persona. It's exactly who you are. That's part of
yes,
confidence. So
yes,
so you were learning that from a very young age. You might not have perceived it that way, but you were learning that.
yes,
So that was building up to what you do with people now with
yes,
confidence. So
yes,
you went from singing
yes,
to performing, or were you
yes.
okay?
Yes, so I would perform. I left Duke Ellington and went to Juilliard. Um, and I would perform. I came back home and I would perform for different things, homegoing services, special church events. Um, People would have anniversaries. Some bands needed lead singers or backup singers, different things. And the thing that I got the most was not a request to come and sing again. It was a request to help someone else sing. I didn't understand. I'm like, "Wait, can you help me?" And I'm sure, it sure I can help you. I would get there and help, and there would be a drastic switch by the end of the first lesson. There would be grandmas pulling me in the kitchen going, "Wait, that baby couldn't carry a tune if you gave it to her in a pot. There's no way in the world you just did that." And I'm like, "Yeah, she was just holding herself back." And I wasn't paying attention to what was happening, but always it would come. I would be there for a voice lesson because they needed to audition for something, or they had a song to sing at church, or they just wanted to sing better. Um, and I would get different accolades. And I just found that people were holding themselves back from doing it um, full out. And that turned out to be the thing of why people would ask me to come and assist, because I would sing full out. When I sing, it's just as animated as when I talk. When I talk, it's and my face moves, everything contorts. When I sing, it is the same energy, same expression, same. I can't care how ugly it looks. I am there to express. the music in that moment. So I really don't, my face twists and it does what it does. I need to get it out the way I'm hearing it and feeling it in my body. And that's what I would impress upon them. You can't be concerned. Then I realized there was a fear. I didn't even pay attention that that was the thing, but helping them battle that fear, that concern of everything external. And I helped them look inward to be able to just press and push out that way instead of worrying about everyone's expression outside. Let's go inward and let's express that way. But by the end, I would be called a life coach.
So
So that's the transition.
So I want to commend because you said something, and I don't know how many people caught that, but you went to Juilliard, which is like one of the top of the top of the tops of performing arts in the country. So kudos, because that's not an easy place to get into.
Nope, of 400 students the 400 students that were there were 8 Black, and I was one of them.
Yeah, and you have to be really at the top of your talent to get into Juilliard. It's
Yes,
like, yeah, it's like going to a Royal Academy or something. It is really a top tiered school to go to for performing arts. So
yes,
kudos to you for attending Juilliard.
yes.
But you also said something because I remember an interview with Lena Horne,
Hmm.
and they wanted her to smile while she sang because they wanted it for the camera. They wanted her to look very pretty while she was singing. And when she sang, she'd open her mouth really wide, and they would tell her, like, just smile and say, and it
Yeah,
was so difficult. And it was really interesting, like you said, the fact that you're able to have all this expression and all this, be able to express your feelings through
yeah,
the music, that the music moves you so much that you could use your voice and express a feeling and give other people that emotion.
yes,
Like how do you do that? Because I look at singers and I just get fascinated, like, wow, how could they make me feel all of those things? So
yeah,
what kind of process do y'all go through to get that across? Like you said, people are holding back because they probably wanted to look pretty. They were told
yeah,
you can't make those faces.
yes, yes. And that's the thing. The way that I teach, it's not the technique or the technical side of vocal music. It's not the reading and writing of vocal music. I actually teach for that little voice. If you're a singer, in your mind, you hear yourself. If you're not a singer, in your mind, you hear yourself sounding amazing. You can actually do that. That's a thought in your mind. It can actually come from you if you will let down your guard and express. Express, there is work. You do have to warm your voice up. Most people are like, oh, you don't have to, you could just sing. Nope. If someone is going to run in the Olympics, they have to practice. They don't just show up to the Olympics cold and run like that. Gymnastics, there is rigorous practice. You don't just show up and just be amazing. Kobe Bryant, amazing. He always talked about his relentless drive to practice it so that when it was time, he had already done it so many times, it should be effortless. So helping people to understand, because some people are like, oh, I don't need the runs and I don't need to do all that. I don't need to, okay. You're not going to grow if we don't practice, if you don't stretch it, if you don't do something with it. If a baby does not actually try to do the things, roll over, crawl, walk, that baby will just sit there. That's the same thing in anything else. You start out rolling over, then you go to crawling, then you go to walking, and then you're running. So it's the same thing with singing. What I teach people is, where are you now? And what do you think about that? How do you want to sound? Um, what's something that you've heard that you want to be able to do? Let's go ahead and put it on. Yeah, I don't know how, like Minnie Rippleton, I don't know how she hits those notes. How can you do that? How can you? And I would show them the screeching light scream. It's a faint push of a note, and they would do it and it lose their mind. I'm like, yeah, if you stop thinking I can't hold so many people back. If you lose the I can't and at least go, let me see. Let me see how I'm going to do this. Not let me see if I could do this. Let me see how I'm going to do this. Let me see how I'm going to do this. When I get with people that when they I feel like they can trust me enough to actually give it a go. And that's what happens. They trust me enough and they follow my instruction and give it a go. Probably because before they did it, um, either I did it or we played it. Most of the time I try to play it because I don't want to make copies of me. I want to make authentic yous.
Mhm. That is amazing that you just tell them, well, let us just go ahead and do this. And is that the way that you found that you started going from, say, being a voice coach or a singing coach to being a confidence coach? Was that where you start to come to that realization? Like, when did it hit you that that's
Yeah.
what you were actually doing? And because you might just said, well, I'm a vocal coach, and
Yes. It kept coming up every time. You're by the end of the session, you're a life coach. You're my life coach. You're my life coach. You're my life. I'm like, whose life are y'all talking about? Do y'all know my life? What are we talking about? But it was just so it got said too many times by people who did not know each other. These
Mhm.
people didn't know each other. And I'm like, okay, God, you're talking to me. You're talking to me. And I asked for more clarity. I need more understanding of what this is. And it just kept coming and coming and coming until it was clear, to the point that I didn't want to tell people I was a vocal coach in terms of singing. I was like, that I'm joining these classes and these master classes, and these people are here doing amazing things. God help me. I know it's this, but I feel like there is so much more. And there is, because I am Marion Swingler, the coach to your confident voice to be heard whenever, wherever, however you desire. So it's gone beyond singing, because even in singing, you need to be able to stand there and present yourself. So I help people to have confidence in just saying, if you're going looking at me going, well, I can't really sing, and you're constantly saying, I can't sing, we got to switch that. We got to switch the words that are coming out of your mouth. I'm grateful that you came on my show and talked about the power of words coming out of your mouth. That the Bible says life and death are in the power of your tongue. Actually, it says death and life. So you can take this one, but this is the one that I suggest. You can take death. It's your choice. But I would say choose life, because in either side, you're going to eat that fruit. You're going to eat the fruit of your words. So I started dealing with what people were saying, and then why are you saying that? Who told you that? Then I realized it was them talking to themselves. And then we build to another layer. I'm like, okay, why are you referring to yourself in that way? Why are you um, bringing yourself down without even giving yourself an honest chance? Can we let go of all of that and let's just do it? Let's just go. Just follow my instructions and let's just go. I have coached people who were brought in and they were like, I don't want to do this. No, no. When I say mad, they were like, and they said, from the moment you said hi, it was calming. I'm like, you're talking about me. And so through other people, I can honestly say God helped me to see my gift. Again, a child who grew up with no voice realizes that she has a voice to sing, and then realizes she actually has something valuable to say to help other people find their voice.
That is really an amazing transition and awareness of yourself, because a lot of people but what you're telling me, when people say to me, well, how did you get to where you're at now? And I always tell people, I said, it's organic. The growth
Yeah.
is very, very organic. You go from one thing, you're led to this next phase of your life where that one thing that you're doing all of a sudden starts to switch, and then people start coming to you because you can do that, even though you're not aware exactly of what you're doing yet. And I always tell people that is really the journey. That's how you develop all this wisdom,
Mm.
how to work with people, and then you become confident because you know you could deliver those results
Yes.
for people because you've done it. What I normally see with people, and I really feel this lacks the confidence. Most people, okay, Beyonce is here. Well, she'll be in town this week, or she's here. So she's here in Atlanta. So I've heard a lot of people. I'm walking around. I'm hearing people talk about they're going to the show, and a lot of people would look at someone like that, and they get the idea that that's where they need to start.
Ha!
You get what I'm saying? It's like, so then they have no confidence in what they're, because they're thinking, I gotta start here. But
Yes.
you're telling them, look, I was I was given some encouragement. I was told, like, you sing better than the lady on the radio. I went to school. People started acknowledging me and recognizing me. I went on from that. I had this girl. I went and had some recitals and voice coaches. I went to Juilliard. I, started, going to performances and things, and people kept asking me for my help, and that's how you get to this point. Most people think you start here, and then they can't figure out, well, how did somebody get there? And even Beyonce will tell you, we were singing in parking lots and mall openings, nobody was there, people were walking around drinking their beer trying to find out where, they started out here
Yeah.
also, and they had to work themselves up to this point. And a
Yeah.
lot of people don't realize. So that's why I love that you're sharing this story, that people don't realize you don't start here. Because a lot of people, and I find that they say a lot of there's like a lot of depression amongst the younger people
Mm.
because they're trying to measure and compare their life against this. I call it the Instagram unreality.
Ha!
Social, it's like that's not even reality. That's just somebody took a nice picture. But they really believe that that nice picture of those few minutes of very well edited videos that's, really enhanced and look very nice, they
Right.
think my life doesn't look like this, so now I'm a failure.
Yeah.
And nobody starts here. That's what I keep telling them. It's like everybody have to start somewhere and work
Yes.
their way up to there.
Yes.
So that is so refreshing that you're telling your story.
Yeah.
So people are starting to see that, yeah, you just didn't start being the confident you coach.
No,
You're
you're
not starting
talking.
out there. You have to work towards that. And they
Yes.
see from years of working with people and getting feedback and seeing results, and
Yes.
people coming back and telling you, no, you're way more than that to me.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
you start believing it about yourself. You don't even believe it when people tell you.
No. No. Because you're talking to, if you want to talk about go back, you're talking to someone who like really didn't have a voice. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't want to stress my mom out being the youngest child. So I didn't ask for clothes and things. I would just walk with my legs as tight together as I could because my jeans had holes in the middle. Like I really, when I say I didn't have a voice, I didn't know how to express myself. I felt like if I spoke, I would be bothering, I would be an inconvenience, I would be, so that's just, and it wasn't that anyone said this to me. The thing is, I said this to myself. So, who better to help someone understand themselves than someone who now understands herself? And
Mhm.
it doesn't go away. It's something that you have to put the work in to know about. Because confidence, I would love to unpack. You're talking about unpacking the vocal technique, and it's really the confidence
Yes.
component, in teaching or in trying to breed or help to plant the seed or water the seeds that are there to help people to have that confident fruit in their life that they want. there are there's my 4A process. But I just want to let people know with confidence, it's a two-sided coin. Confidence, there's heads and there's tails. Now, the tail side of confidence is exactly what you'll end up as a donkey. You will end up the tail end of everything. You say negative things to yourself. You even say negative things to yourself to the point that now people are saying back to you the negative things you've already said out loud about yourself, because you walked in the room and went, yeah, I know, it's me, I'm this, I'm that, negative things, saying negative things. And now that's what you're known for, the negative words that you spoke about yourself. So we're not even talking about anyone else's coming to an understanding of who you are. We're talking about the understanding you're presenting to people about yourself. So even in that, so confidence has two sides. That's the tail side. The head side, because you can be confident that you're nothing. You can be confident that you're not valuable. You can be confident that you're not, you don't have a purpose. You can be confident that you're to be everyone's doormat. You're just supposed to help everyone else at the cost and the sacrifice of what you want and who you are. That you can be the tail side of the coin of confidence, or you can be the head side of the coin of confidence, where you acknowledge who you are and your faults and your good points, and you highlight your good points, and you are working to make your faults even better. It's not unrealistic. Everybody has good and bad things, not really bad things, good things and things they need to be working on even more. How about that? Good things about themselves and things that they need to admit, yo, I got to work on that. So there's that work list of things like, oh, I got to work on that. I want that to be this. So in getting your confidence, you want to be aware of where you actually are, the reality of your situation as it stands in this moment is what the first A in my 4A confidence program. You want to be aware of the reality of where you are, who you are, how you show up, the things that keep happening. You go, oh, that's how it always happens for me. That's how it always happens for me. You want to be aware so you can decide, is that a head side of the coin or a tail side of the coin? Because it's the tail side, you want to see how you can change that situation to make it the head side. But the first thing after you're aware of what you're doing, you need to be accountable that of your portion in why these things keep happening, accountable for the words you speak over yourself, accountable for the words you allow others to speak over you, accountable for the actions that you do, the things that you say, accountable for your emotions, because you can't react to things you should be doing. uh Number 3, you want to know your awesome sauce. So wait, you want to know your awesome sauce so that when you go back to number 2 and you're like, okay, these are the areas I'm actually good in. How do I do that? When I showed up here, I really liked who I was in that moment. I liked who I was in this moment. I didn't like who I was in that moment. So you have to recognize your awesome sauce, your amazing self, where you are being your best self. You want to take note of that and remember what you did, because you know you can apply those things to where you absolutely are not proud of something you did or how you showed up somewhere. So you want to know where that awesome sauce is so you can start to spread them on more things in your life. And if you feel like, well, I'm not showing up anywhere the way I want to, then you really have some work to do, because then you need to sit down and decide, who do I want to be? How do I want to be? Who do I want to be to people? How do I want people to be to me? And you really need to make those choices. The decisions are yours. So you make those choices and then you create that awesome sauce that you want to be. Not fake, something that comes naturally, a realistic version of you that you really want to be walking, talking, and living and being in this world. That's what you want to do. So, 3, you want to definitely get clarity on that awesome sauce that you have within you to be able to apply it in more areas of your life. And 4th, you want to be audacious. You want to have the audacity to actually show up and be that person. You want to take surprisingly bold risks to the point that people are like, wait, I'm surprised. Did you hear what they just said to you? That's your response? Listen to me. I used to go off. Disrespect is not to be expected when you're talking to me. I used to go off. Now I know whose opinion I value. So I only put my feelings, not that I have to go off, but I only put my feelings into it if you're someone who I've approved to be in my emotion category. So if I'm in a store and somebody says something off-putting, I don't know them. I don't value what they say. So how much weight should I really give that? Should I be standing there, going back and forth with them, and then taking it home? Girl, you know what? Oh my goodness, can you believe? Next day, could you believe somebody? Nope, I let it go. You know why? Because there is someone amazing in my life, Sasha. Sasha says, don't feed it and it won't grow. So if you just let it go, it won't grow. It won't yield that fruit, that negative fruit in your life. Stop giving your energy to negativity.
That is really, I love your 4 steps, the 4 A's. And it's really interesting that your first A is awareness. And
Yes.
it's very interesting because in healing, that's usually
Mm,
the very first step to healing anything. If you're unaware that you have a ailment or you have a symptom or issue, if you're unaware of it, you can't even start healing it. So
no.
that's normally the first thing that I tell people. You have to have an awareness first. So
Yes.
that's interesting that that is also your first A. And I
Yes.
love that, being audacious.
Mm,
I think that's something I need to practice more of.
come on here.
Yes.
You have to surprisingly
Yeah.
be bold, take
Mhm.
bold risks. If you really want to change who you are, what happens in you, what happens through you, and what happens around you, the common thing in all of those was you.
Mhm. I love that. I that is definitely something that I am going to take to heart and start practicing more of being audacious in my
Yes.
life, because one of the things that I have found, Marion,
Mhm.
is that when I say things, people put a lot of weight to the words that I'm telling them, that I find that I have to find ways to soften what I'm saying to them, because I'm like, if I tell them, if I give it to them real and hard, they'll break apart. Even my children, for
Ah,
instance, they are like, I said, okay, I won't say anything. They ask me something, I won't comment unless I'm like, you really want my opinion?
that part.
Mhm.
As long as you ask permission,
Yeah.
when I feel like there's no blood on my hands,
Okay.
I ask, you sure
You want to know what I really think?
you want me to answer this? Or you just want me to listen? Because I
Yeah.
can listen. I
Yeah.
can listen and console.
Hmm.
Do you want an answer? So after I get permission, all bets off.
Okay. Very good. I like that. Ask permission first, because it feels like I just went in for a sleigh otherwise.
Nope, ask permission.
And when you work with your clients, when you're coaching your clients, anything or anyone that stands out in particular for you, that, or any story that comes to mind about anybody that you've worked with, that is just like, you're like, wow, this is really like a benchmark person.
Wow. Ha. I have worked with people. My youngest client was 6.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest client was in her 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And I can honestly say the journey, amazingly enough, is the same. It may not be the same characters or the same environment, but it seems to be the same because either someone has said something and now you're believing it, as I did with my grandfather. Um, and then that's how you live your life. You live your life in those boundaries. I can honestly say I have met a lot of people that live life in boundaries, and I have encouraged them to be audacious and to not be afraid, even in singing. In singing, you said a story. All right. So I have someone who was, and this was going to make all of them go, she's talking about me. So I don't even need to say the name. Extremely afraid to get up and sing. And then would get up and sing, but extremely afraid of releasing what was in them. Very hesitant, really would sing exactly what was recorded in the song originally. So they would just learn to mimic. Remember live? Is this live or Memorex? Yeah, I would encourage people to be live. Don't be a recorder of anything. And this particular time, I was there to see the breaking. And I saw literally the chains falling, the barriers coming down. Tears were flowing as it was just pouring. The voice was just pouring, but it was so much more than just, you can't just say just singing. It was so much more than singing. At that point, the person who had been told, your voice has a ministry to it, it has an anointing on it. That's why they kept asking for the person to get up. I need you to get up. I need you to get up. But they would also be saying, but I need you to let go when you get up. It's like you get right there and then you back up. We can hear it and we can feel it. Yeah, when they finally admitted to me and to themselves, that was more important. I don't think the me was important. When they finally admitted, I'm afraid of what would happen if I do that. If I let go, I'm afraid of what would happen, the shift that would happen, the effect it would have. I don't want to see or feel. When I start to feel it rising up in me, I back off. And just to be there, to see that breaking and to have that person's entire family being there because they were there to celebrate someone. And so everybody was there. And so everybody who had saw this person sing all their life, who had been asked to come up because of the anointing, all their life, saw the breaking and heard it, heard the anointing flow in its fullness. And so I would say that was the greatest. When I say hesitant, this person was hesitant to do everything. Most people, I can tell them, okay, let's do this. Let's do that. Nope. There's a whole bag of questions that come. Why? Well, why not this? Well, why do that? And why do this? I need you to look at me. You're relaxed. Just do it. Wait, you really don't? Yeah, your feelings have nothing to do with what I'm doing. Let's go. So that was that I could say that experience, just being there to see the breaking, to witness the breaking, to encourage it to keep going. Because I was like, you're right there. Don't stop. Like I ran up front. I couldn't believe it. I said, it's happening now. And I'm here and I'm seeing it. And your family is here. And they rallied. And it was amazing. Amazing. And now there is confidence in every area. There's confidence in, because it wouldn't just, we would be coming for voice lessons, but things would shift. And that's how the confidence became. That's how I became the confidence coach, because things kept shifting. I'm like, wait, what happened today? Yeah, I went for a job. I didn't get it. I know I didn't. Wait, explain to me what happened. What did you say? Well, let's do this. Okay, no, pull up that. And then we would pull it up and go through it. And she's like, I never thought of it that way. And then I would help her get confidence in herself, in the things that she attributes, her contribution in all areas of her life. She just would say, I just thought that's what I was supposed to do. I didn't see it as valuable. That's just what I do. I said, yeah, but you talk about how everybody else does things amazing, but you. And so, yeah, I would say that that one touches my heart. That one does. But they all do. My 6-year-old, oh my goodness. My diva, that one, yes. I love them all. I love them all. My teenager who's now going to college, what? Calls me. His mom's like, who are you on the phone with? Miss Marion. Like, I don't know what? Miss Marion. Miss Marion, this
Mhm.
is what I went to the prom. And this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm.
That is so amazing. When you see that light goes on, one thing that I did get the pleasures of working clinically with people, working with them on their healing, working from the medical and healthcare perspective, as well as teaching. And you see this light go off in them when they make that transformation and that switch, just to witness that.
Yes.
I understand so much of what you're talking about. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
you just see it, and it's like they got it.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that just gives you a good feeling. People always ask me, "Well, what's your reward?" And I say, "That's the reward.
Yes, it is.
Witness that. That's the reward." I
Yes.
mean, to me, do I like to get payment? Of course, I got bills and stuff to pay, of
Right.
course. But it to me like that's like the priceless kind of payment that you.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because it's something to get money and to have done something and made a difference and a contribution to someone for that, to get value for the value you've given. But
Yeah.
it's something to get money and you didn't give nothing.
Hmm.
You didn't get
Oh, that
that. I
bothers.
can't, that, yeah, that, that's not, I'll be like, nope, we're going to work 6 more weeks. Don't pay nothing. Something else has got to be this. And we're not finished. So
Yes.
don't you worry about it. And there has been a handful of those times where I have felt a certain way about something. If the person puts, because it's all dependent on the effort
Hmm.
that the person gives. The that's why it's not just it has to be audacious. Like it
Yeah.
has to be
I that's gonna be
extraordinary.
a word I'm adopting. I love it. I love it. They need to see some more audacious Akia showing up.
Yes. Let me tell you something. You're amazing. So the fact that you're saying that well, who's not showing up audaciously? If they go back to Confident You podcast and watch episode 8 and episode 23, they are going to see the true, authentic you. And
Yeah.
that is audacious. Like I said, you take natural and spiritual and you think them at the same time and you show them at the same time. Yeah, no, Because it makes people go, that can't be real. Is that what it is? I don't understand. You stretch my mind. You stretch my mind. And I'm someone who I think very openly.
And it's interesting because I can be extremely challenging. But I from all the years of teaching people, I know that okay, I need to say it this way. I need to switch it in this direction so they could see it and hear it. So I understand how to do that for people. Um, the I don't do like crude shock value. Like some people, their shock value is just a curse, or to me
Yeah,
that's a bit crude.
yeah.
But you know, I haven't really like pushed a button to make people go, oh, like she really like made me stop and go, what?
Wait. Okay, so let me tell you this.
Hmm.
Ma'am, yeah, I'm getting closer to the screen. I want to make sure you can hear me.
Okay.
You do push buttons. You may not be doing it intentionally, That's not the intent of your heart, but let me tell you, that's the mission of them words you speaking.
Okay.
But it's not in a bad way.
Hmm.
It's not in a, just like I think confidence has is a two-sided coin with tails and head. I think the things that you're saying are things that are enlightening to the head. So I
Hmm.
definitely think you're on the head's side of the coin in terms of challenging people's thinking naturally with the connection of spiritually.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm saying that, I feel that I could actually challenge people a little bit more. I think my whole thing was that I didn't want people to feel uncomfortable.
Mm,
Because the space that I work in, I could see how easily people could get uncomfortable because it does challenge a lot of their paradigm and a lot of their belief systems. But, and I need to be okay with them being in a space where they are a bit uncomfortable because
right?
sometimes that discomfort is what leads them to their change and their transformation.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and before I was more, let me make sure I could make them comfortable enough
Yes.
to at least hear what I have to tell them. But I feel that I've gotten to the point now where I'm ready to go to that next phase where it's okay for you to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
Sit with that discomfort for a minute
Yes.
because that's that agitation that, me digging into that wound a little
Yes.
for you is what's going to actually accelerate
Yes.
that change and that transformation you're looking for in your life.
Yes.
Because comfort doesn't really bring a whole lot of change.
No, it doesn't. But I would say that I think that things are done in levels. So I
Mhm.
just think you're ready for the next level. I think
Yeah.
you've gone through, it's like a video game.
Yes.
You went through level one and you successfully completed the mission. And the only way that God can get you to now go to level two is to go, I wasn't doing that right. I got to do it better. So
Yes.
then you're going on to level two. Trust, a year from
Yeah.
now, we can come back and revisit this
I'm going to
conversation.
agitate a few people.
You're going to say,
Audacious and agitating.
there it is. That right there. That right there. I believe your compassion and your concern for people will show and it won't be malicious.
Yes.
I,
No,
you
malicious
don't
is
you don't
not my intent.
no,
Yes.
no.
But if this is going to get you, because I'll be honest with you, like the mission that I've been given, like my primary mission is to get people on their purpose. That's my
Mm,
primary mission in life
yeah.
is, before I thought it was, okay, I'm going to heal your body, get you out of pain, help you stress. And I did that for quite some time. And then, like you said, it organically grows to another level.
Yes.
So what I realize now that I know clearly the mission is to get people on their purpose, find out why they're not fulfilling their purpose,
Right.
and get them on that path. I find in order to do that, it's going to take a bit of me, Harriet Tubman in it, like we're moving. you know,
Yes. We're
yeah,
going on that underground railroad.
we're not playing around here. We've got to
No.
get, yeah, because otherwise people they take forever.
Yes.
And I realized, yeah, I will have to become more of that which I'm okay with it.
Yes.
I will have to become more of that person in order to get that maximum result that I'm seeing that people need because we don't have a whole lot of time.
Right?
Thinking we
Listen,
don't have a
we
lot of
do
time to just sit
not.
around and play.
We do not have a whole lot of time, but I still believe that I still believe the reason where I get the mindset that there are different levels is look at Jesus.
Yes,
Jesus didn't come into the world and go straight to that cross.
true.
There was a transition through his life. The three kings came. The king was trying to kill him, and and then he grew up, and then he went with his family, and he's in the church, and they're gone, and he's still there talking about his father's business. And where were you? I was talking about my father's business, and she's looking at him, and then he realized, wait, I'm a child. I need to stay in a child's place. Let me grow up. Let me learn the things I need to learn and be who I need to be in this body in this time. And it just kept leveling up. It kept
Hmm.
leveling. Let me get, and then 33 went really, really quickly. He got baptized by John. He got his disciples. He taught, he taught, he taught. Then they came and they were like, wait a minute, you, who are you having all these people follow you and doing these teachings? And why are you doing this on the Sunday? And how did you do that? And how did you do that? Getting question and question. So everything just kind of builds up. And to build up to the big thing, you got to go through all the other
All the
things.
steps. You can't, and
So,
you can't skip a step. That's the
mm,
other thing that people don't realize. People think, "I can just skip over some steps." And,
yes.
when you skip over steps, you wind up going right back to the steps that you did.
Definitely.
Mhm,
That's a definite truth. If you skip over steps, you'll wonder why. Why do I keep going in this cycle? Yeah, because it's not complete
mhm,
and you're not learning it all the way. So it keeps happening until you can actually make that choice. Again, the 4 A's. Get
mhm.
awareness of where you are. You have to be accountable for why you're there, how you got there, what your part was. Make that plan for how you don't want it to be that way again. It's all, just different, that after you get that awareness and then you want to get that awesome sauce. Like, no, I don't, this is how I want to show up. I want to be amazing. You can
Mhm.
choose to be amazing. You can choose to be the awesome sauce in any situation. You can choose that. You can wake up and go, no, I'm going to show up like this. And the awesome sauce is not that you're being validated by others. It's that you're believing in you. Then the others they'll join in. You got
Exactly.
to believe in you first. And
And and
then
and
audaciously show up.
and before we close
Yeah.
tonight, this has been an amazing, amazing conversation. Absolutely amazing.
Thank
Before we
you.
close tonight, I want to know, is there any words of wisdom, a nugget, some
Mhm.
pearls that you want to leave us with?
Wow. Nuggets and pearls of wisdom to leave. Life with a Kia live audience. What I would like to say is you choose. You choose whether your confidence is a tail situation or a head situation. You choose. It is, if it's important to you and you're looking around at other people and you're thinking, wow, how does that happen for them? That never happens for me. That never happens for me. Take a piece of paper and write down, change those words. Literally sit and write down the things that you say to yourself during the day, and take another piece of paper. Say that thing a better way that encourages yourself. Everybody has a phone. Take a picture and make that your screensaver. When you find yourself talking down to yourself, look at your phone and say that. Say those things to yourself. You'd be amazed how many people actually think you are amazing and you do have awesome sauce, and that you are audacious in the way that you show up. But let that audacious appearance be one that you're proud of, that you can share your light in the world. And those are my words of wisdom.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
Thank
Absolutely,
you.
absolutely brilliant and wonderful. And you're definitely going to be coming back because I know we have a lot more to talk about. So you're definitely going to be coming back. And let me just go ahead and close us out.
Yeah.
And that was just such an amazing session. So much wisdom from Marion. Um, if you find, I think she gave you the roadmap to your confidence. And if you find that you are struggling with your confidence, we're going to make sure you could get in touch with Marion. We're going to put her in the description box of the YouTube video, her contact information, how to reach out to her. But this was just so amazing. I mean, wow. That's all I could say. Wow. Um,